dance to the rhythm, let it flow. Here comes the ripple effect. Let's go.
Gene.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Ripple Effect.
That's right, guys. What's going on, everybody?
Hi.
Here we are. Back in.
We got things we want to talk about. You were talking about the Chinese kid with the art.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just dive right into that.
So we were just talking. I was like, working on a new logo. And once I get it done, I wanted to order a sign, like a little neon sign or something. Something to hang in here. And I don't know. There's this Asian kid. He had Asian... Now, look up viral Asian sign maker. Like...
Sign maker. Hey, how do you like the sound? Does it sound pretty?
It sounds pretty good, yeah.
I tweaked the audio a little bit.
That guy, top left.
This guy right here?
Oh my god, dude.
We're gonna go look at his Instagram or what?
So, where'd he go?
No. Wrong.
But that's him.
Proof that literally anyone can go viral. It's Chinese
What's
LED
his
sign
name?
maker.
Go down. It might have some more of him. Look, scoot down. There he is. LED sign guy. Dude, his videos, click on it. Let's see what that one is. Click on
Well,
one
it's
of those.
TikTok. We don't have
It'll play.
Wait, what?
But it'll just play. We don't have to have it.
Okay.
Yeah, he makes the China ones and
This
stuff. But dude, where's the first one? Gay. You guys are gay. Yeah, play one of them. It doesn't matter. Choose one.
China. Nobody knows more about how important a store sign is to the store than I do. You can hang neon lights in your shop. Your store will attract more customers. Neon lights like these are better price than you might think. If you want to custom...
This is crazy.
Keep going
Is he for
down.
real?
Bro, but like he makes a lot of them that are pretty hilarious.
Let's do one that's got lots and lots of views. So this has got 286,000.
When your kids say they don't like sushi, take out the middle. Add soy sauce, whip.
I don't know what this is. Which one?
Favorite, dude. There's these dudes. They're like
China, China, China. You
this
can't
one?
trust
Find another
anyone, but you can trust...
keep scrolling down through these, and I'm gonna tell you if I see one. Like keep going. Oh, right here.
This one.
Yes, that was the first one.
This one.
Yeah, watch.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What's up, California? My name is Alex. What's up, I'm Aiden. I'm Oliver. I'm Brian. And I'm Dylan. And together we are...
Gay as fuck. You guys are gay as fuck. Anyways, we've been making signage for more than 14 years. Any size can be customized with 3 years warranty. UNC.
That's where he blew up. That's his first one, bro.
Oh,
That one just lift off, bro. He knocked it out of the park. Gay. You guys are gay as fuck. Because you don't see it coming. I mean... And
Like, he's obviously not affiliated with those guys at all.
at all.
Right.
At all. But
He
they're
does other-
super viral now. They're thankful, you know what I
Are
mean?
they
They're like,
really?
we're not gay, you know what I mean? But appreciate that, boss. But dude, that went viral, okay? And ever since then, I watch them. They keep coming across my feed. Again, I
Yeah.
built my feed brick by brick. I'm proud of it. I get things like this on a regular.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. I was just reading through some comments while ago because I get caught on this. I don't know what it is. And I'm like, God, why am I watching this? Let me go see who else is watching this,
Yeah.
And dudes are like, yeah, this is the best I can do with a cell phone. Like,
Yeah.
I'm watching this. We're all watching this. And
We're
you
all-
go to the comments, they're like, yep, came here too, did you? Like, yeah, how'd we get here? What are we doing? What is the world coming to? Like, what are we watching?
This is the best thing.
But this is the stuff, dude. Like, I bet he can't keep a sign in. You know what I mean?
He's probably sold all the signs.
I mean, look at his facility already. This is where he was to begin with.
Yeah.
And they were like, dude, you're hilarious. All the dudes that work with him and for him, they're like, bro,
Click the link in our bio for free.
Together we are...
Gay as fuck.
I went right to the
yeah,
spot.
gay
right
as
to-
fuck. You guys are gay
Oh
as fuck.
my God.
It's just hilarious. But anyway, see if I can get a sign off this guy.
Yeah.
I think that's the place.
That'd be cool, man.
I mean,
That'd be really cool.
yeah, I was like, I'm working on this logo. I was like, dude, you give it. It's pretty easy. Send it to him. Like, I watched their
Where do you
thing,
want to put
too.
it? You want to hang it up like
I don't know. We got to
put it in the corner?
somewhere. We
Put it
can
right over
hang
the
it.
put it right over the that stuff over there.
Yeah, with like
Yeah.
a neon,
Yeah.
something cool.
Okay. Nice.
But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna work on this logo. I got it almost banged out. Like, it's like you always have something in your head, but when you can't create something on your own, and I can't draw.
And you go to ChatGPT.
Yeah, you just keep going at them, and then they slowly, like, we get close, and then they're like, oh, but maybe we're gonna go this way, guy.
Yeah. Or you got to pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then you get to that point where they're like, hey, for a little money.
Yeah, you've already generated enough free images today.
Yeah, sorry, we're done.
Oops.
Oops, we ran out of Smartsies. You're gonna have to pay me.
You ran out of Smartsies.
That's how it feels. Oh my God, dealing with that. But
Dude, there's a meltdown on the market.
oh God,
People are
bro, I'm running into
freaking
people.
out.
And they're like, dude, they're like, I lost so much money. Like, did you sell anything?
Yeah.
No, then you haven't lost anything. But
Yeah.
stock market's down.
Buy the dip.
Okay, buy the dip. Like historically, this is what you're looking
We're
for.
not a financial podcast.
No. Yeah, somebody even I was telling them something. They're like, "Sorry, is that you telling me like that's some financial advice?" Like, absolutely not. Hey, that's ridiculous. Really?
Yeah, right.
Like,
I know how to buy high and sell low.
yeah, I am the king
of buying high.
But I was like, dude, you're looking at historically,
Yeah.
these 20% resets or more, like when the stock market goes down 20% or more, dude. First of all, it causes a panic sell-off, and that's exactly what they're doing. Look,
Right.
here's the thing. You want to really break it down? And I was like, damn, telling someone this today. And again, dude, I'm no stock guy. I'm no financial guy.
Me
I'm
either.
just speaking basic math. 10% of the population of the world owns 94% of our stock market.
Yeah.
Look up that. I'm pretty sure that's the right number I was looking at. Like when it comes to like the funds and all these index and everything.
Let's see if that's true.
The wealthiest 10% own a record 93%. All right, I was pretty damn close. I
Yeah.
said 94.
And that's just Americans, dude. That's
Yeah,
not
bro.
worldwide.
Okay, sorry. So 10% of the Americans, okay, the
Own
Americans
93%.
own 93% of the stock market. What do you think they do with that? Nothing's crashing. Nothing at all. The only thing crashing is us
Yeah.
into each other because we're mad about politics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing's crashing, dude.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is exactly what they want. They do this. They use times like this, like these tariffs and this political unrest and these Boston and Denver and everywhere. People are rioting, these paid protests, you know what I mean? They use this, and then they take this and they make you think the stock market is crashing. Because, dude, I don't even know if there was – remember when they were like, oh, the Great Depression and everything crashed? I don't know. Did that really happen?
Well,
Did that really happen?
I think there was some perception of it, and I think there was some reality to it. So there was a crash.
But they already controlled all of the media or the newspapers back then.
Right, that's what I'm
So
saying.
all they had to do was put a lie
Just
out
put news out
and
there.
say it crashed. The stock market crashed.
Right.
And they tell the stories of people jumping off of buildings and blah blah blah. You know what? I've been trying to look that up. I can't find a whole lot of people that jumped off of buildings.
Really?
Not like they said.
Yeah.
I always thought like everybody jumped off a building.
Yeah, hundreds of people.
Hundreds of people all at once.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like that was the narrative.
That was people jumping out of buildings.
Like some shit that you couldn't even fathom.
Yeah.
But here where we are. Here we are today. This is right on pace for exactly what this is a plan. This is
Yeah.
you know, it's just like a plan.
All right, so play it out for me next. So stock market goes down, interest rates drop, finance gets kicked back in again for big projects, lots of construction, road work, whatever, right? That's what's going to happen, right?
Right.
Stock market dips. Then the Feds loosen up the interest rates a little bit,
I think they're already dropping
pump a little money into it. Yeah, they did drop.
today. I think, dude, I think we dropped like a point
Oh, today?
within the last 2 days or something.
No.
See,
Wall
that's a-
Street money rate. I just go to Wall Street Journal. Yeah, right here. Again, not a financial podcast, people. Not a financial podcast. But let's see what our rates are. Short term. Where's our 30-year? No, 30. Where's our 30-year, Gene? Federal funds, Treasury bills, Freddie Mac. Here it is, right here, bud.
I think inflation dropped by a point.
Oh, yeah. Look at his going down. I mean, not a lot. Just,
Right.
But
A
hundredth,
week ago.
hundredth of a point.
But I mean, look up, what was it, inflation? Is inflation drop?
Is it inflation drop? Okay.
Right? Because they measure that by points, right? Like
Inflation rate.
inflation rate today,
Let's see where we're at.
2.8 from 3% in
Yeah, look
January,
at
and
that.
core inflation.
Inflation's
I mean, look,
dropping.
dude. All right, so a point of a point, tenth of a point.
2 10, 3 tenths.
3
well,
tenths, 2
2
tenths,
tenths.
3
Yeah.
tenths. I mean, look, dude.
That's good. That's the right direction.
But they're not. They don't say that on the news. When if
yeah.
Biden was doing it, or if Kamala was here, I mean, which none of this, we'd be in war right now.
We'd be in lockdown.
Fucking yeah, we all
We'd
have
have
a
another
mask on.
pandemic.
Everybody would be
masks on.
prescribed Ozempic. Men, children, everybody.
6 months old.
Oh, everybody's getting it.
Everybody's getting it.
Everybody's getting it. You're not safe without it.
What is this voiceover? Where'd that come from?
I don't know. It's just my
Just snuck
that's how
out.
I feel voice.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. But here we are. I think, dude, they're doing exactly what, and everybody's like, oh, Trump, he's doing this for his rich friends. No, dude, he's not.
What a joke.
You know what I mean? Like, he's really not. I don't think it has anything to do with that at this point. He's already rich. All his friends are rich.
Yeah.
Look, they own 93% of the stock market. If anything, he's probably a little pissed that they're manipulating everything and taking advantage of it.
Probably.
But in the end, it always happens like that for the common people, right?
Yeah.
Middle class, upper middle class, working. You know, if you're not of that 10% or the 1% they call, right? If
Yeah.
you're not in the 1%, which in fact controls the 93% of the stock market.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So there you go.
So what are we at here? Let's see. Year to date, we're down 19%.
Okay, go
Sounds like a nice dip to buy.
5 years.
Hit the 5-year. Oh, we're up.
Nobody
7,000.
cares. Does anybody care? Of course not.
No,
Right?
nobody cares.
That's ridiculous, right?
Where was our low point?
22.
22.
Look where we were.
Yeah.
Look where we were.
10,321.
That's Biden. That's Bidenomics right there. Nobody wants to hear it. Every day. And today, and people are coming out like, look, dude, go back to 2022. Yeah. And then they were like, oh,
3 years
but
ago.
these deportations. Okay, when we hit 3.5 million, let's talk. We'll start talking.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to hear it right now.
I mean, in fact, it was even lower in 2020.
What was that? Pandemic?
Yeah, 8153.
Of course, because that was the largest transfer of wealth in the history of mankind.
Mm-hmm.
That one worked too.
This one right here.
Yeah, that was a beautiful one, huh? They really did their thing there.
They got us good on
They
that
really got us good on that
one.
one.
Yeah, they did.
But I mean, look, dude, we're running unchecked. That's the thing. Is it's a fake economy.
Yeah.
You know, Biden comes in, oh, it dips, and they bring it up, and they're like, oh, Trump's crashing the economy. No, we were a runaway train to begin with.
I mean, look at this. The angle of this graph.
It was
now I'm talking like I'm a
unsustainable.
trader.
Yeah, but it's unsustainable.
It was unsustainable. Yeah.
You know, you need to level off. You have to stop and say, okay.
You
where are we
just
going
compare.
with this?
Look at you. Just compare the graph down here at the bottom, right? And if I had one of those cool little drawing tools like on Thinkorswim, I could just draw the angle of the graph, and then I draw this one, and you can see it's significantly different, right? This one is a
And
lot
what you're
more
gonna
gradual.
do? These two are gonna. So this one aligns. This one. This one. You would draw that. You know
Right.
what you're about to have?
Yeah,
Freaking shoot up.
yeah, we're gonna
You're
have
about
a big rise.
You're about to create more billionaires
Yeah,
once again.
yeah, because all the billionaires now are buying the dip.
Right. They're all buying the dip. They manipulate into the dip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is what they do. This has nothing to do. Yeah. And people are like, oh, the global. Yeah, it affects the global market. But then the tariffs. Everybody's like, oh, tariffs. I just saw him reading too. Apparently, you know, Biden had imposed tariffs on China, right? Right before he was out.
Right.
But this is what they do. They put these crazy headlines.
Who are you saying was going to go 0, 0, 0? We're going to even no tariffs at all.
Well, it was Europe
Was it Europe?
and somebody else. Yeah.
Good, because I want that Scotch back without so much tariff on it.
Yeah, Europe and somebody else.
Give me
You
that
know,
single
Canada
malt.
could keep.
I want that single malt back.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming back, dude. Who else is gonna buy it?
Right.
They ain't got enough alcoholics. We are the people, brother. Like, just and that's the thing. Turn mine a little bit. Here.
Okay.
Like, this way.
You want to go this way?
Other way.
Other way.
Yeah,
There you go.
I keep wanting to
Is that
lean.
better?
Yeah, that's better.
A little more?
That's good. But yeah, I don't know. Like, they'll get rid of the tariffs, but that's all he wants. He's like, dude, let's go 0 for 0.
Yeah.
We're the largest consumers of everything in the world.
Right.
Okay?
Stock
Who
charging us
wastes
so much
more
for
stuff than us?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Our goods, we want to get to you. It should just be even.
Yeah. So look, we'll buy your stuff, you buy our stuff. China, I don't expect them to play ball right away. But even China's smart enough to know, like, okay, if we continue to tariff them, they're going to tariff us.
Yeah.
We got to figure it out. Because no matter what.
Is this
look,
the first step to one world government?
dude,
no
they've
tariffs?
been taking those steps.
they've been pushing us
but,
there.
let's hope they figure something out. I mean, it could be. Maybe, I don't think anybody's playing a long game. But they could capitalize off of this. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No tariffs everywhere, just free trade. But it's just the way it should be, though. Don't you think?
Listen, you think because there's also a conversion for money too, right? There's a difference in what we produce here in the United States under the labor dollars here, and then we try and ship it to China. It's going to be a lot more expensive, potentially. I don't know what the goods would be, but like if we're shipping corn there, maybe not. You know, maybe corn is just as cheap here as it is in China, even related to the exchange rate.
Right.
Again, we're not a financial podcast, but we know some things about stuff.
Right.
So here we go. I don't know. I think if you lower the tariffs for us selling goods into their country, they're just going to buy more goods from America.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if the cost goes down to do that, then our exports increase. We're winning because we're selling more product. What's going on here? We got an infestation. So, technical difficulties with the environment. Be right back.
Got a few checklist things.
You got some screens to build?
Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
We're gonna
Yeah, I don't know. You know, but so like when it comes to a country like China, though,
Yeah.
you know, China wants their people to buy their stuff
Oh,
anyway.
well, of course.
They're still going to import things. They still want them to, you know. But with China, that's the whole thing. Like they have so many people. They build things. They buy their own stuff. They're self-sustainable in some ways.
Yeah.
We're not like that.
But
You
they
know
can't
what I
get a
mean?
Ford truck there.
No.
But if they want a Ford truck there.
Do they have Ford trucks there? Is
well,
that a thing?
I don't know. But
no
this would
idea.
be the thing, right? If we can import vehicles into their country and sell the Ford Ranger, one of the most popular selling trucks here in the United States, right?
Is it?
It's one of them.
Yeah.
But it's been around forever. Like the Ford Ranger. I mean, I know you see these videos. It's a Ford fucking Ranger, and it's pulling like a gigantic thing. It shouldn't be pulling, you know?
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. I hope that everybody eases up on the tariffs, right? Just play ball for a little bit till we can get our economy back together. There were $34 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
We're spending, what, $6 trillion annually, bringing in about $4 trillion.
Yeah.
Or we're spending more than that. They're just saying that's if we cut back,
Yeah.
slash everything, we're still about $6 trillion a year. Our GDP is, you know,
What is our GDP?
what,
see.
4 trillion.
GDP of United States.
Oh,
27.
27 trillion. Okay.
27 trillion.
But what are we doing annually? What are we spending?
Annual spending?
Yeah.
That should be easy. Fiscal year, federal government spent about 6.9 trillion. But I mean, the GDP doesn't mean that everything goes to the government.
Right.
That's just a.
That's what they're
gross
saying.
estimate. Yeah. But we spend 6.9
Which is
trillion.
24% total spending, percentage of GDP, key areas,
So
Social
if-
Security.
So if you look at taxes overall, right, and let's say the tax rate is 20% on trillions of GDP, whatever is being made, we're obviously going to continue spending more than we're making.
Right. I think that's what they're saying. Like, you know, we end up, when it's done, the government's making $4 trillion, we're spending 6.9. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not sustainable.
No.
You're still having to borrow $2 trillion. And now they're going to come collect and the taxes are due, you know,
Yeah.
on some of these previous loans and stuff like that. It's like, dude, like, that's
What-
why I don't understand why everybody's so mad. Dude, I cannot understand.
Oh, I just figured it. Okay. So we have like some trillions of dollars we have to refinance this year,
Yeah.
right? So if the interest rates go down,
We refinance on a low interest rate.
we save
Trillions.
trillions of dollars
Yeah. You
in
just
interest.
wipe it off right away.
Just wipe it.
But that's why I don't understand why people are so like this whole going out and vandalizing Tesla cars and putting swastikas on them. Like, dude, he literally did what y'all wanted him to do. He made the best electric car.
Yeah.
Right? He's saving the environment. This is what you wanted.
There was this
Now-
craziest Instagram clip of this guy asking at a Tesla protest because they're like, sell your Tesla. And he goes,
Oh yeah.
who are they going to sell it to?
And she's like, I don't care. I don't know.
I don't care. I don't know.
Just get rid of it.
And then he's like, well, what are they going to do with it? She had no
They have no
answer.
idea. She's like,
She has no answer.
Well, just get rid of it. It's like that's not how that works, bro. They did what you asked them to do. First, you wanted everybody to get an electric vehicle, so they did that.
Yeah.
They bought the best. Then there's one of the senators, right? This Democrat senator who's like got rid of his Tesla and went and bought the biggest gas guzzling 13 mile per gallon Suburban. You know, dude, hypocrites, bro.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous people.
Yeah. Oh, this guy's hilarious.
JP
too.
Sears, yeah, dude, he is hilarious.
Oh, you know this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sell your Tesla. If you have neighbors who have Teslas, tell them to sell their Teslas.
Protesting Tesla.
He's hilarious.
This is the new current thing.
Whoa!
Is this your Tesla?
Yeah, it is. Are you living in my bushes?
A little bit. You need to sell your Tesla.
I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Oh, you have to sell it.
Why would I do that?
Because Elon is a Nazi and he's fascistly taking over the government with Doge. So we need to bankrupt Tesla to stop him. So you need to sell your Tesla.
How would that help anything? Tesla already has my money, and if I sell this, then they'll still have my money. It makes no sense. Have you even thought about the economic logistics of your little protest?
You need to sell it or else you're directly supporting a known Nazi.
What?
Nazi!
Wait, I'm confused. Are you for or against Nazis?
I mean, look, this is reality. This is exactly what I think when I see it.
It
you
is. Yeah. It's hilarious.
But I mean, what do they want? Like I said, dude, there's like protests going on everywhere, and they're all paid.
Yeah. They figured
dude,
out.
I was like the other night, I'm like going down one, like, you know, trying to figure out. I'll go.
Did you go rabbit hole?
I went rabbit hole.
Which one?
Go to DuckDuckGo and just tell them you want to get paid to protest.
No way. Did you do that?
And then you start finding there's these organizations.
This is a good thing. I want to get paid to protest. Activism for hire.
Bro, it's not a bad gig.
Crowdsondemand.com.
Yes, bro.
Are you
Dude, they're doing like $400 a day for some of these protests.
You're
Dude, there's some
kidding.
people earning up to $1,000 an event. They'll go and earn $1,000. They're really good at it, you know.
how to
Right.
become a paid activist?
Yes, bro.
What? Paid activist job? This is not a job. That's not a job.
It is now.
Oh no.
Oh, it is now.
Oh,
It's
no.
2025, buddy. When you can't use that gender,
It's on Indeed.
When your gender studies degree doesn't work out.
This is on Indeed.
Yeah, bro. This is for real.
There's no way.
I'm
this is real.
absolutely blown away. Look at this, dude. 35 to 45 an hour, bro.
Where is this? No, that's bartender.
Oh, that's taps and
That's
burgers.
bartender.
All right.
I clicked on the Google thing, but it brought me to some other random thing on Indeed. Let's see. Paid activist jobs. I'll type it in. Paid activist. Search.
Scroll down.
Well, that says bartender.
Nonprofit. Yeah, no, you just go to the other ones. And then there's like, if you go to like Act, yeah, dude, I know they're hot right now, but even like these organizations that were connected to Act Blue. So you go into Reddit. Reddit will start, you can go down that rabbit hole and start getting in there, get into the comments, and they'll be like, oh, well, if you're in this city, you need to hook up with this organization. They're going to kind of vet you. You're going to go in. So it's tough because you can't have like, of course, if I'm going, you'd almost need a fake ID. I think if we could get our hands, how to become a professional.
This is ridiculous.
If I can get my hands on like a fake ID, I know I'm not gonna. I'm just saying, if I was gonna, allegedly, I would do it. Theoretically, get your hands on like a fake ID. That way, when they run you stuff, it's not gonna take you back to like my social media handle. Not that, but they would come to this and be like, "Yeah, this dude's definitely not on our team." You know what I mean?
Right.
Or I was like, I could lay it on thick and just be like, I really lost all hope.
Yeah.
In the Republican side, and I just, want to tear it all down. But anyway, once you get your foot in the door, there's a little money on the table.
Crowdsondemand.com.
Yeah, bro. And this is what they're doing. That's how you end up seeing all of these
protest rallies and advocacy.
Because they're going there and they're asking people with these signs like, like you said, like they're asking what makes him a Nazi, what makes Elon a Nazi. They're asking these Asian kids and stuff, and they can barely speak English to begin with. They're foreign exchange students.
Right.
And they're like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I got paid. Like, I'm out here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like this crowd that was in Denver and then the one that just popped off in Boston, they're still geo-tracking their phones. It's that same organization that's been tracking their phones.
Yeah.
And they're finding that, like, dude, there's like 7,000 protesters that are just
That are
being
traveling
bussed
around the
all
country.
around.
Yeah.
And they're doing it on Soros, well, USAID dime,
Right.
you know.
Until that
Act
money
Blue,
runs out.
But they're still getting it.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Well,
they got money for
left,
years.
Yeah, it left the bank, right?
You know, they got money for years. They have billions, you know.
Yeah.
And they know what's up. People will continue to donate to tear the, you know, to keep control. But
Yeah.
this is what's going on. Like, you can really make a little change on the side.
Like, how weird.
And I'm like, oh, we're in Denver, bro. Business is good. Like, you know,
This is good.
business is good, bro.
There was. I wanted to pull up this Instagram clip. I should. Did I send it to you? Maybe I did. Did I
What,
send it
this
to
one?
Ripple Effect?
This guy right here?
No, not this guy.
Oh, because I was about to say. I started following him. I like his stuff. He takes you to a lot of, like, he gives you the lowdown on a lot of stuff, bro.
Oh, I know.
Like,
Oh, I sent the libtards.
I
in a
expect
while.
him to drown in a kiddie pool soon.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Or shoot himself in the head twice.
In the back.
In the back
with like a shotgun.
with a shotgun.
Just something crazy. Something
shot
really
himself.
believable.
He shot himself
know?
twice.
Oh,
in the back.
no. He choked himself to death with his own hands. The ligature marks clearly show,
He choked
what
himself
happened.
out.
you know.
Oh my God. Tesla takedown.
I mean,
gotta
look,
find this
dude, I'm
video.
glad. Like, I can't imagine. If I owned a Tesla
Oh,
right
here
now.
it is. Here, this is it
Oh,
right
yeah.
here. This is it. This is it.
I'm a special education teacher here in the Valley, and I'm here today to protest Tesla and Elon Musk because he is going hand in hand with Trump to try to take over our democracy.
So is she making
He
extra cash?
is,
'Cause she's a
going
teacher,
to
right?
different
Well,
government places
no,
and
she's just-
trying to take them over. I'm worried about
She's all in on it. I don't think they
him
have to pay
having
her.
my information,
Look at her
having my
sign.
parents, my family's information,
I think
my
she-
students'
that's-
information.
that's
I'm also
made
worried
But you
for
see
her.
those red
that
shirts in the
he
background?
is,
Yeah.
very,
Okay, you're gonna have people that are wearing these red
authoritarian.
shirts and
I
they're
mean,
carrying these red and white signs. Like, they're showing people pull up. They're bringing them in coach buses.
Yeah.
Okay, to begin with, and then there's vans set up, and they're just pulling out signs and pulling out shirts and giving it to them.
Yeah.
And so what you have is, but then you have people like here. This is probably more grassroots. I mean, dude, she's a special ed teacher in the Valley. I have no doubt that she just wiped the Kool-Aid off her lip. You know what I mean? Like, she took a big old gulp and got right out there with her little sign.
You're on fire today.
Like, I mean, this is just absolute truth, dude. This is solid truth right here. And I don't understand it, man. Again, am I so far out of touch with reality? Or, you know,
I don't know.
that,
I don't think so.
you know, like, she seems like a nice person,
Normal
you know.
ish. Normal ish
But, I mean-
individual. I was trying to figure out how to skip through this video a little bit faster. I can't. I don't know why.
Click on it.
Yeah. Pause, play. That's it.
And when you gravitate towards up, when you run the arrow on the bottom, it doesn't pull up the little bar. Nope. No.
Mm-mm.
All right.
This wasn't the one anyway.
Yeah, no,
was
I know
something.
the one you're talking about.
Oh, do you?
Oh yeah, dude. He's like, he keeps going at her. He's like, so what?
So,
So what do they do with that Tesla? I don't know. Sell it.
to who?
To anybody. And,
And
then
then
what do they do with it? And he's like, she's like, dude, there's been some good ones. There's even like Turning Point. Oh, you see the other day, Turning Point was at, you know, again, one of these California campuses or something. And they tore their tent down and grab all their stuff. You know what I mean? And they're over there like talking like they're the nonviolent, tolerant ones. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but dude, this is the same things that you say you're there to protest. You're doing the most violent things. You
Yeah.
know? And now you see, what's his name? Did Kash Patel? Isn't he subpoenaing and pulled all the a bunch of people that were involved in January 6th, like Nancy Pelosi, pulling all their cell phone records?
Yeah.
He's about to pull everybody's card. They're about to investigate, and they're going to use their cell phone data, text messages, to see if they orchestrated it.
Right. Ooh.
That would be huge. Because they're using J6 as like the hinge pin, right? Like,
Right.
oh, you guys are so violent. Look what they did, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. I don't think that's how it happened. We've seen the videos. That's why Tucker Carlson got pushed out of Fox. When he went on Fox News and posted that video of all the videos from inside, all the footage, like at that point, they were like, dude, we can't keep you around. Like that was way more than we could do. You exposed some very powerful people.
Right.
Pelosi is not to be played with, you know?
Right.
But like, I'm pretty sure Cash Patel is saying he's going to go in. He's going in, bud.
Is he really?
He's going in.
He's doing it.
He's going to do it. You know, when I tell people about something, and no one knows about these guys, right? Like the Cash Patels, you know.
Yeah.
No, I realize this Tulsi Gabbard just ran for president a few years ago.
I know.
And got railroaded and called a Russian asset.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'm like, dude, do you guys even realize who these people are? Like, these people were all like, almost got crushed by the machine, by the Democrat machine.
Yeah.
They were Democrats. They supported this. You know what I mean? And now here they are all standing on our side trying to help us, you know? And
I know.
that's why I don't get, like, how does a movement like this get going? How does sell your Tesla? Like, this guy went from being just a great dude. And then people are like, he's so stupid. Like, really?
I know.
He's not even a real rocket scientist.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's funny because he sure does a pretty good job of building them.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, and then people bring it up like, he wasn't even the guy at PayPal. Well, he didn't have to be. He just made hundreds of millions of dollars off of it.
He
He
knew how to
started
hire the right people.
Yeah, he got it
and
started in his
manage-
apartment, though. Him
manage
and
the
his
team.
brother, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, dude, that's the thing. And people are like, well, that's the point, bud.
Yeah.
Really smart people hire people that are smarter than them.
That's right.
And they see that.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
You're trying to sell your Tesla.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me take a loss on that.
Yeah.
That's a genius.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, look, the wealthiest 10% of America. When I told somebody that today, they were crying about their stuff. I was like, bud, let me tell you something.
Yeah, they ain't going nowhere.
10% of, like, there's 10% of people that own 90-something% of the market.
93.
They're doing this. This has nothing to do with Trump.
Right.
They are doing this. They are using this as a perfect time
Yeah.
to scare you into selling everything low. And that's helping to drive. And then they're going to come in and swoop it all up, and it's going to take off, and they're going to make billions of dollars again. And you're going to be standing there like, damn. Because I was like, he's like, I lost my money. I'm like, did you sell? No. Okay, wait
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
You're about to be up 35%.
Right. Maybe buy a little bit now.
I was like, write it down.
Just saying.
Put that in there.
Yeah. Did
Put
you?
that. Oh, yeah, I told him, write it down. I said that.
Yeah.
Gene said that.
Gene said that.
And I am not a financial advisor.
Not a
But I
financial
am
advisor.
smart enough to know that that's what keeps happening.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see the patterns at this
You
point.
know?
All right. So we were going to cover like silver and gold too. This is wild. So silver had a run up to what was 35.08 March 27th. Now we're back down to 30 something.
Yeah.
29, 23.
I was telling somebody the other day too. I was like, oh, I'd pull my money out of that.
But
Gold
why
and
would silver? But why would silver drop?
They're just manipulating the market.
They're just manipulating
Well,
the market.
Why not manipulate the market? Look where it went. It ran. Everybody bought in. Let's drop it really fast. People are going to sell it out. You know how many people sold on the way down?
Yeah.
Because they panic sell.
Yeah.
Bro, you can't help it.
Yeah.
How can you help it?
I know. I know.
I just quit looking. Okay. Just quit looking.
I didn't even know we had a problem today.
Vicky went the other day. She's like, "Oh my God, dude, I opened up the Schwab." Like,
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Don't do
Stay
that.
away from that thing.
Right.
Give it a month or two.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna move some shit around so I could buy some other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, but ultimately, don't look at it.
No.
That's, you know,
Don't look up, first of all.
yeah, don't look up. But we're right where we should be. This is, you know,
Yeah.
I expect a little more butchery to go on. You know what I mean? They're gonna hack away a little bit more. Because what do we see? What kind of drop is that?
I mean, first of all, this growth for silver and gold has been out of control.
Yeah.
Right. We're up 650, almost 30% for the last 12 months.
Yeah. I can go to my APMEX, you know what I mean? Because I buy everything from there, from that America's Precious Metal Exchange. And they keep everything you buy, right? So it's sitting on there and it shows mine,
Yeah.
right? What I make, my gains. And then it's like watching, you know, a little stock, right? It's your
Right.
portfolio. It shows your portfolio, which is really cool. That's why I like them. And yeah, you know what I mean? It's fun to like, you go back and look, you're like, all right, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
there you go.
Over a year.
Yeah. So,
So
like-
we took a little correction here. what was it, 32%? You know, I mean, gold's up.
Yeah.
Period.
You know, people have been buying gold too. I was like, somebody the other day on social media, somebody I know, they're like, dude, I've been buying gold since like the 80s.
Yeah. Do you think he's trading
bars and just been stacking it?
Classic cars? Is he buying classic cars with bars?
Whatever
of gold?
he wants at this point.
Yeah, right.
Because guess what?
He's got
all of a sudden
he's got the gold.
It's like you got a bunch of bitcoins, bud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tangible little thing, little nuggets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like now, all of a sudden, people that have been buying gold since it was like, you know, whatever. What was gold in the 80s? You know?
Let's see, Max. I mean, it doesn't even go.
Doesn't even go that far.
2012. So 13
I bet
years.
back in the 80s, we were probably a couple $100, huh? $300 an ounce.
This is an incredible growth line here.
But
gold.
even that, like, why? That's a manipulation of the market. But it's tangible. And really, what did that too? If I'm being honest, when Costco got in the game, they just really pulled it up.
They did.
You know,
everybody's
all
buying
of a sudden
those
when you get
bars.
these like big companies that like wholesalers that are like selling gold bars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, all right, they're just waiting for another war. But hand your gold in. Uncle
we know
Sam,
you bought it from Costco.
Uncle Sam knows you got it.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean? It's on that Costco account.
It's on that Costco account.
Who knows? You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, when guys like that, when you know, retailers like that start getting into it,
yeah,
they drive up the price, and they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Somebody was involved.
Did you ever watch those, like the River Gold show, where they're down scuba diving, sucking up gold off the bottom with that little vacuum thing,
like gold diggers and stuff?
Yeah, like gold diggers.
Yeah.
Those shows. So there's one in a river in Alaska that they pick up these big boulders and they get them out of the way. And underneath there's this honey pot just with all these little nuggets, like really, you know, pretty good sized nuggets. It seems very fun, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Except they're diving in a suit. They have to pump hot water in because it's freezing
got a
cold.
Circulator, yeah.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
And that dude almost burned himself.
Bro.
There was, anyway.
Yeah, that whole thing,
it's a good
that's
show.
a life, bro. Because they only do it for a couple months out the year.
Yeah.
Because everything freezes. So they go to Alaska or wherever.
Yeah, until snow hits.
And then until snow, and then everything freezes, you know what I mean? My dad knew some guys that were like out of Vegas or something, and they had a claim up there, and they would go for a couple months out the year. They'd talk about how, like, you know, one year they lost a Jeep, you know, down in the sand. They just had to leave it.
Right.
Because it's about to be buried under 20 foot of snow.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But they'll come back next year and they'll be ready. They'll bring what they need to get it out and get it running. You know what I mean? But that's a lifestyle. But they go do that for a couple of months and they're making some buku bucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's no lifestyle for a dad, but
no,
that's a lifestyle
I mean, for a family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because that's what it was. It was a guy, like his two sons. This was like a family
Oh,
thing.
well, that's cool.
And they were generational miners.
Yeah.
Gold, whatever you call
Oh, were they?
Yeah,
That's
these
pretty
guys,
cool.
this wasn't their first rodeo.
Yeah.
Like, they were generational, had, you know, would move around from claim to claim, knew where the gold was, were very, you know, because,
Very close to
you know,
where it
that's
was.
not something you just walk into.
No.
Come on. You got to be, that's a lifestyle.
You
Once
you can't just take like a little screen or you know, thing down to the Platte River here and just
Like,
put
don't think I haven't thought about Black Hawk, all these little mining strip claims that they'll
Yeah.
let you go up there and you can buy them.
Yeah.
It's really hard to access. Some of them don't have, like, you know, you can walk in, walk out, whatever. But there's a lot of land up there for like $15K for like an acre.
I know.
You know, and you can go camp on it. There's no electricity, but you could go build if you want to.
Yeah.
You got to pack it in. And they're right on the water, and they're like, yeah, it's a mining claim. You get the mining claim. You could, but it's like, dude, really, is there gold? Maybe. Maybe
there's
enough to
some.
have fun. Probably
There's
be
some.
enough to where you go spend weekends there. Finding,
you know, quarter
dust,
ounce.
and
dust,
stuff.
particles.
But, you know, bro, when I went to Leadville and heard the story about Leadville, my buddy Nick got married. That's where he did his bachelor party.
Yeah.
Stayed at like one of the oldest little fishing camps out there where people are in the area were like, what? You guys are there.
Yeah.
Like, it's these trout ponds. It's a very, like,
Yeah.
you know.
It's picturesque.
Very picturesque, bro.
Yeah.
And not everybody, even people that are grown and born and raised around there, never fish these holes, right?
Right.
It's like a so exclusive spot that they've owned forever, generations.
Yeah.
So anyway, we ended up going into town. Then we took a side-by-side, like a tour.
Yeah.
Where they bring you into where the old mining towns were and tell you the story about Leadville, how that Leadville created more millionaires in like 1 or 2 years than any other time in history.
Really?
Okay. They pulled more gold and silver out of there than they did out of California.
I didn't know that.
Do you know that it was booming? Doc Holliday, we're talking like big time people were coming through that place.
Yeah.
And I forget what year they said, but all of a sudden the government just came through one day and was like, you got till tomorrow. We're giving you like 24 or 48 hours. Grab what you can. You load up your wagons and you're out. You're done. No more mining. And they just shut it down. So when you go there, it's really cool to go and take a tour.
Yeah.
Because you come over these ravines into this valley, and it's this huge valley with just tons of mining camps, like a little town. Yeah, look up like the mining camps of, and they're just falling down right where they were because everything just stopped.
Yeah.
So then you go to like the mining shafts and stuff like that.
Give me where are we at here?
So there's Leadville.
Yeah.
So I can't, we weren't too far. Look, Monarch Mine or something. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
And Diamond Mine. So you leave and you take these, and I'm not saying that that's the one. We may not have gone, but that's what it is. There's towns in these valleys that, yes, the Gulch, probably around there.
Yeah, we'll fly around.
But
here
what
for
we
a little
did
bit.
was we took these side-by-sides down, and there's only one guy whose family's been there forever, and he has, like, permits to do these tours.
Really?
No one else can go in there.
Oh, yeah, there's some mine
Yeah, look at that. See on the top of that thing,
activity
you can
here.
see that.
Yeah.
But, dude, there are whole towns in there.
We're gonna find
where,
them.
like, the saloon, the general store.
What?
You know, like, there's a little town,
Yeah.
I guess, and all the buildings are just falling down into each other because everybody left and nobody came back.
We're going to find it.
And so what do you have in there, dude? It was at the height of the mining. Like, they were pulling out. Nothing had slowed down. They were at the height of the mining. And the government came in and said, everybody leaves. And if we catch you back in here,
You're in
kill
trouble.
you. We'll kill you. That's it. And so,
That looks new.
well, yeah, that's probably like exploratory. Like whatever they're mining.
Let's go a little further east.
But go closer to the town. Like, I feel like we weren't too far from. We were right outside. Because, see, we left out of the town.
Yeah.
And we weren't too far out before we started hitting. And there's still stuff going on around there. But there's literally little towns, like I said, just dilapidated. But they brought us to even to like some mine shafts. There's big iron, you know what I mean, where they were like hoisting stuff up. And that stuff's just falling into the mine. Because people left and never came back.
Never came back.
Crazy, dude.
Oh, this looks possible right here. This is actually Toledo Street. Was it a dirt road?
Yeah, dude. We took some trails out the back of town and just, you know.
Let's find it. Somewhere up here, maybe?
I don't know. Prospect Mountain. Because then we took off and actually went to, like, way up to an elevation that was so high, bro. I could barely breathe. Like, because there's, like, a high point outside of Leadville.
Yeah. Prospect Mountain, probably.
Mosquito.
Buckeye's Cabin. What do we got in here?
But, yeah, cool.
Huh.
Like, really cool story about Leadville, you know?
Yeah.
The old, like, and how Leadville was there, and that was, like, where the saloons were and stuff like that. But then you went into the mountains. Look up, yeah, see all around there was North London Mine. Like, yeah, look at these things. Dude.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Crazy, man.
I see what you're doing.
But you get in there, and there's places where there's, like, dozens of these.
Yeah.
Looks just like that. Like, yeah, with stuff like this just sitting there.
Really?
Yes, bro. Like, the coolest look. There you go. That's probably the ones we rode.
Probably.
We're all on razors. But, yeah, dude, like, you go out there, and there's these things.
Yeah.
Scattered everywhere. Because they just told them one day, like, you got to leave.
Don't
and
come
no
back.
one's allowed. Like, you don't want to get caught trying to mine out of there. But look at those old things, dude. How
Yeah.
cool is that?
That's cool. Is that an old pump? Looks like an old pump.
Yeah. Ingersoll, bro.
Ingersoll. Yeah. Type D.
They made everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, dude, this is what, and we walked on some of these. It was so stupid. Like, we got on some and are like looking down this mine shaft. Dude's like, bro, I'd be kind of careful. Like, if that thing caves in, you die.
Yeah, you're
Dude,
gone.
we don't.
Yeah.
No one's going in after you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Ever.
we're gonna call somebody and see how that works out. But
Yeah.
they're 18 hours away from putting a rope down that hole. You know? What
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
But you're looking down. Look, all these, like, yeah, dude. I mean, it's really cool to see and just kind of put yourself and try to. But like, we came over this one hill, and you look down into this valley, and there are just dozens of structures, shacks, little houses. And like I said, do you ride by one? He's like, look, this is what they were using for the saloon. This was the dry goods store. you know.
Do you think Google Earth has Google Maps has got the whoa. People have been taking pictures. Yeah, look at this.
We went up to stuff like that, dude. It's beautiful up there, man. Like, I don't know if you ever been in that area.
What is this? Looks like a little ski resort. No, I've never been up there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, at the top of the
It's
world,
worth
kinda.
it, like, to go up there and do their side-by-side tour.
Yeah.
They'll take you up, dude. Like, you get to drive.
That's cool.
There's a dude in one, and you'll just follow him, and you're driving in your own, and he's in like a two-seater or something, you know.
Yeah.
And like somebody, or maybe he'll like, oh, if you guys want to ride with me, and then he takes off and just brings you up a couple hours,
Yeah, just a lot of old mining stuff there.
dude. But that's what it was. So he tells the story, and I mean, it's pretty accurate because we went. Of course, we were all like, was he blowing smoke up our ass?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, what a great story, dude.
Yeah,
That guy.
can't never tell.
I
these
go
days.
back and we're all drinking and we're all sitting around. Dude, we go back and my buddy, like his buddy's family has this old cabin, dude, down by Trout Lake, you know, in Leadville. It's a series of little lakes. They're natural. They come right out the mountain, kind of drains into them.
Yeah.
And there's like 5 or 6 little lakes, dude. And then they feed into each other. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so like some lakes are different. But anyway, then there's only there's like somebody at the gate when you're coming into the property. You gotta know.
You're
You
right.
know what I mean? It's very like secured. And get in there and like their cabin is old. I mean, we started playing Yahtzee.
Yeah.
Bro, I was pulling out some Yahtzee's tags from like 1950s.
What?
Yeah, bro.
Ah,
Like, and they had been bringing new Yahtzee and stuff. I guess
Sure.
his grandmother had passed. I ended up with one of her note cards or whatever. And like, I was doing good. He was like, cool. She would have like digged that you were doing all right. You know what I mean? Because she likes some Yahtzee. But they had that cabinet for generations. Dude, and this thing was old. Like, you know, hand built. Like it was
Logs.
lumbered right there in the area.
Oh, sure.
And then like they had made the plaster. It was like legitimately old, handmade from like the Western days. And then throughout the years, they had added on to it to modernize one side, but it was like built into the side of like, it's not a mountain, you're still in there, but like went into the ground and kind of dug in.
Yeah.
It was really cool, man. And there was a handful of cabins in that area. But yeah, they own it. No one else is there, you know. Going out at night, dude, just wolves and stuff. You just hear them all around.
Yeah.
Coyotes.
We're an hour and a half away from total wilderness.
We went walk at one point, like, dude, the coyotes are out. I mean, yapping.
Calling each other.
We're all drunk with a pistol, doing prey like you're a predator call, like acting like we're a wounded rabbit, and dude, they're getting close.
Yeah.
Fucking things are just circling you, you know, you're just waiting for when they get close.
Oh, jeez.
You're gonna shoot each other. I don't know what we're doing, right?
my
Everybody's
God.
drunk, fucking 2 a.m. But dude, you look up, and I mean, the stars are just
Sometimes you just wonder like how you made it, you know, every
now
once in
and
a
then.
while.
But yeah, Leadville, dude, beautiful place.
Interesting.
But very cool story about how, and then just they shut
Do you
them
think
all
that
down.
Leadville story is? You think it's on the web?
Yeah,
Mines shut down. U.S. government.
yeah, I'm sure.
Let's see. Last mine closes in Leadville, 1999. That wasn't too
Well,
long
that
ago.
was probably like but the strike lasted from June 19 and 1897 and resulted in a major defeat for the Union, largely due to that. Government shutdown impacted here. I mean, I don't know how you'd go about.
History of Leadville, maybe.
But I know that particular area, they may have let them mine other places, but the really big mining strips and claims that they had
That were rich with gold.
that were just rich
They
with
just
gold.
shut 'em down.
They just shut them down. They haven't been back since.
Yeah.
You know,
You
when we
can't
went
have
back
that
into
much
town, we
gold.
went to have some beer. We went to the bar, you know what I mean? You talked with people who
Can you
know
imagine
the history.
Can you imagine just seeing a seam of gold?
Because then they
just
want to,
stuck in the
can you
rock?
imagine?
Just
Like they were telling us stories about people who, you know, and these are stories that get handed out where like, you know, they go out and they find, dude, tons of gold or silver.
Yeah.
Then they're coming out, they can't come back into town. They can't get caught with it.
Right.
Then you got to figure out who you can trust. So they would hide it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they go back looking for it and then fall down another mine shaft and somebody finds them dead.
With a
They
bag
tell
of
the story
gold.
about this guy
Yeah.
who had mined for like, you know, it's been a couple years. They know he's been stacking it away and people
Yeah.
just can't figure him out.
Yeah.
And And then they like finally he's gonna rustle up some guy like I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm rich. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And they find him dead the next day, you know, falls down some hole, you know what I mean? He's stuck upside down. It's like just this story. And they're like, no, it's a real story. Like it's actually and it was used as a cautionary tale about like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, they, you know, I'm sure we could go through and find what their story is, but I'm pretty positive, you know, when you're in town, it tells you like about the mining claims when the government came through. I have no doubt that you could still mine outside of there, little stuff. But those mines out in the middle of nowhere, you see it just shut down and dilapidated. Yeah, dude, that was the...
I'm going to show you something. So there's this peak. It's on my Google. I'll pull it up in a second. But have you heard of the Flying Dutchman gold thing yet in the Superstition Mountains in Arizona? So the Flying Dutchman gold treasure is buried or is in the Superstition Mountains somewhere. Allegedly. Some people say they've you know found it and it's been already extracted. But there was it was kind of like that Clue. Did you watch that show with the treasure hunt thing on Netflix? That treasure hunt documentary where the treasure was actually found up in Yellowstone. The guy was in New Mexico. He was an artist and he buried.
Somebody found it?
Yeah. Somebody found it. Somebody found it. And then some software engineer guy bought it on auction for like 1.13 million and reburied it.
Oh my God.
So he's got a whole new thing. And then he said in the Netflix documentary, there's little clues all along the way. How many times is that going to get watched?
Oh my Lord. I think you and I have talked about it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, how do you figure that out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't get caught up in those things. You know, Oak Island just ruined me. Like, they've just drugged me along for like 10 years now.
They found a cross.
You know,
in
and
the
I know,
ocean.
dude, I have no
the
doubt that
ocean.
there's like something there. You know, because of
there
course
was.
me, like, but I mean, how could somebody have gone back in and gotten it?
Yeah.
And not disturbed what's there? Because don't they keep running in? I don't even know what to think about Oak Island anymore. Honestly, now that I'm talking and saying it out loud, I sound ridiculous. They ruined my whole life.
They did. They
for a
got you
moment.
good, man.
But you know, it's so tragic that all these people that go in there end up dying from this H2S gas. You know what I mean? You're releasing this freaking toxic, you know, it's basically just fossil fuel.
Right.
You know, not really, but you know, this gas comes up and that's what's killing them. They're digging holes and you have this like, you know, H2S comes up, kills these guys. And so, but they just keep going. They're like, you know what? It took old Bobby and Brandon, but you know.
Yeah.
But they keep going, but I don't understand. Like, you know, but they found what the Roman coins and. But for me, like they sold. You know what really caught me is because I'm so like, oh, where's the Ark of Covenant? And when they said that
Ark of the Covenant.
you never know, even the Ark of the Covenant could be here, and I'm like, God bless. All right, you got me.
Yeah.
I'll watch for 5 years. Yep.
5 years?
That's what it feels like, right?
Did you? No, you're joking.
Oh, dude, how long? I just stopped watching them last year.
Oak Island or which one?
Yeah, Oak Island.
Oak Island, yeah.
And I've been into them before. They were like this big show. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
These guys were on YouTube before then, posting their stuff.
Yeah.
Just stringing me along, you know?
Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so in Arizona, where are we at? Oh, no, wrong place. Tucson, Phoenix, Salt River. Where are we at? How come I don't have my thing here? Oh, it's with my other login. Dang it. Anyway, too much time wasted on it. Somebody did a LiDAR scan from ASU over where the gold was located off the Salt River, right? And there were actual hits from the LiDAR. And they put this on television.
Cheaters.
They put it on television, the Flying Dutchman Gold Mystery or something. And it was on like
Flying Dutchman Mine.
Bravo or something. Bravo. And then they go through it, and then the LiDAR scan, they actually put on television. So, like, they know there's gold deposits, and there's 5 or 6 locations on this point on the Salt River.
Just now you got people just beating each other up.
Just randomly going up there. You know that's happening.
It's my gold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to. Bunch of meth heads. Arizona?
Yeah.
Come on. Breaking Bad? Wasn't that where Breaking Bad was?
That was New Mexico.
Same thing. I mean, same.
Same thing.
Same thing, dude. There's some Breaking
I
Bad
beg to
stuff.
differ. I beg to differ.
Bro.
Dude, Phoenix is great. Have you been to Phoenix?
I have, well, a long
been a
time
while.
ago.
Been a while.
It's been a while, dude.
There's some
I worked
outskirts.
out there when I was young.
Yeah.
But it was hot.
Yeah.
You know?
Phoenix is
And then
hot.
we were working at night doing like demo and stuff, like completely demo in this place. Like a big hotel or something.
Yeah.
Like completely demoing it down to just the cement, like the cement.
Poured concrete.
And then and this thing's huge, you know.
Yeah.
And then we were like metal frame and putting it back up. But we were working at night. They were working around the clock, and I was on like the night crew.
Yeah.
Dude, it was hot at night. Like,
Yeah.
Get there and that cement was hot, bud.
And it's
Like, can you
baking you all
imagine
night.
being here in the day and then we get off? You know what I mean? You go hang out a little bit in the morning. It was just hot.
Yeah.
But I was there like a couple months during the summer. But I wasn't too fond of Phoenix. I thought Phoenix was a shit show too, dude. At night, I mean, granted, we weren't staying in a nice part of town
Sure.
either. That place was sketchy.
Yeah.
Phoenix is sketchy.
Well, on the outskirts of Phoenix, there's some really cool stuff.
Oh, I have no doubt. The
Yeah.
rest of Phoenix is nice. There's a reason why people Scottsdale.
Those
there's
little mountain ranges there,
that's a beautiful place.
they're so cool.
You know,
You know.
again, if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, it's 130 degrees some days
In the summer.
You know, everybody's got a pool. The house we were staying at, like they were renting a house and we're staying at this house and it had a pool. You know, you just like be in the pool. You know,
Just hang out
come
in the
back,
pool.
get in the pool.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to add one more.
I don't doubt that,
I have
you
to.
know, Arizona's got, I mean, there's a reason a lot of people moved there, especially in the past like 15 years, bro. That place exploded. You know?
Yeah. Did I get it? I got it.
Dude, who's in the final championship game?
Oh, it's
Houston and...
Houston and Florida, I think. Right?
Oh.
Is that what it is? Is that tonight?
I don't know. Is it?
That's not tonight, is it?
I didn't know who had won Auburn and Florida.
Can't wait to check your Google. Yeah, I'm on my Google 7. Let me try again.
Some dude came through work, and I asked him, I was like, oh, who won the game? He's wearing an Auburn shirt. And his was like something in New York, Auburn, some university in New York. But it was like an orange shirt.
Yeah.
The font looked like Auburn from like, you know, the Tigers. He was like, oh, I don't know. This is like Auburn from whatever. I was like, dude, that's ridiculous. You wearing that shirt today?
Yeah.
That was the shirt you picked today after they played in that game yesterday?
Yeah.
Because he was like, you're like the third person who asked me that. I was like, well, you should find out.
Yeah.
Because you're repping, bro. That's an Auburn shirt.
Yeah.
They played last night to go to the finals. You know what I mean? But I didn't know. No one knew. Well, I didn't ask anybody else, but.
Okay. I got this. 382. You're going to find this. I think you're going to find this kind of interesting.
Oh, the LiDAR of that actual area?
Yeah.
Dude, LiDAR is just like changing the game on everything. I follow some on social media, like LiDAR groups, where people are using they've already LiDAR'd everything. Like, there are companies who go and then they put it out and you get access to it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, where I grew up, I was looking at some because, like, dude, where I grew up, I think I've told you this, but there was Indian mounds all around where I grew up. I grew up playing at this Indian mound, like this old burial site. And there were tons of them, bro.
What?
But looking back, I never thought about it. And now that I watch all this ancient America, and there's all this talk about how, you know, we're sitting on the original Egypt, that this is probably the oldest place. And then something happened, the Great Reset, right? The Unger Dryas, and, you know, which I believe it. I can't imagine that we just started, you know, 5,000, 12,000 years ago.
Yeah,
that can't be true. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty inclined to believe that, like, we're sitting on probably some of the oldest stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But where I grew up, they say, like, there's some ruins there. Next time, I kind of want to go. There's some ruins somewhere in Louisiana that they're talking are, like, some of the oldest pyramids in the world, bro.
In Louisiana?
Yeah, there's somewhere in there. They're buried. They're
Get outta
sunk.
here.
They're not sunken, but they're buried because all this mud washes over them.
Yeah.
But anyway, somebody LiDAR'd right around where I grew up, and dude, it makes me want to go back because I can probably take you to a dozen of those Indian mounds.
Get out of here.
Oh, dude, there was one of them that we found, and the university ended up coming out there and checking it out. Yeah,
What?
Yeah, we found a few of them, man. Like, we'd always been playing on them, but no one really thought about, like, how important that was, you know? And then all of a sudden, I'm digging out musket balls and, like, buttons from soldiers, you know? So these were basically burial hills for everybody. Like, the Indians were probably burying everybody out of respect.
Yeah.
Maybe some of these soldiers were fighting along with them. Like, it could have been Confederates fighting bluecoats, you know what I mean? And then, or vice versa. Bluecoats are coming in, and these Indians are going to fight. But I think the bluecoats were killing everybody. I don't know. Who's on the right side of history with that one? You know, ask the Patriot. Mel Gibson will tell you.
Right.
But getting down to it, we would find tons of arrowheads, bones, like. But you start digging, and you'd have these Indian mounds that were probably 30 foot high.
Yeah.
They're not huge in diameter. I mean, they're pretty big, like the size of this basement, which is pretty big. You know what I mean? But yeah, even LSU, like the front of LSU, has some of the oldest mounds in the U.S. Like, they're right outside the two front door gates. Like, when you go into the stadium where they march to go in, there's these two mounds. Bro, the mounds have been there. They always knew that there was something significant. They just carbon dated some stuff that came out. Like, this is the oldest shit in North America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really?
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Things are all covered. We're just on top of stuff.
Right.
You know, they say it's below sea level, but
Not really.
not really.
No.
Like, what happened? But when I looked at this LiDAR of right around where I grew up in that area, I'm looking at the road. I'd go down, and I could pretty much shine. It shows, and it just starts showing these blips, right? These, like, and then this is all flat, but then you got these peaks.
Yeah.
Dude, there's dozens of them that I didn't even realize.
And they're all strategically placed, and they're probably certain distances from each other. That
maybe so. You know what
that
I
are
mean?
consistent.
And so you start looking at it.
It's like that
damn.
Anchor Watt stuff.
Like, bro, I could go there and take you to. I brought people to some of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, cousins, friends would come. You know.
Yeah.
Come by the house, spend the night, and something. Like, dude, I'm gonna take you to something cool.
Do you think they're structures, or do you think they're
no? They're burial mounds.
They're burial mounds.
And I mean, maybe some of them were, but not just burial mounds. They would also, if they were gonna leave, they would bury all their, like, you know, there were ritual mounds.
Yeah.
You know, where maybe there's not people buried in them, but things.
Yeah.
You know, symbolism. Yeah, like you said, some of them might be there. And then back then, the trees weren't so thick. Maybe they were building them and burning things on them. You know what I mean? To, like, light up and be above the ground as, like, you know, a sacrifice, like something to the gods, right? They worshiped the sun. They worshiped, you know.
Right.
I know, like, we had a Takapaw. There was a few different tribes down there. But, like, where I grew up, they were cannibalistic. They were some bad guys, bro. Like, I say bad guys. I don't know.
They mean.
I mean, I always thought if you would, like, eat people, probably weren't the nicest.
Yeah, probably not.
Or maybe just, yeah.
Dude, now this is it's driving me nutty. Like, I know got some maps. Destin, Florida, Colorado, countries redrawn. Cable Beach, yeah. I don't know where they are. I'd have to find them. I gotta find them. It's not like anybody's gonna see it on this podcast anyway. Where's the gold by the Flying Dutchman mine?
But I'm sure.
Right?
Hold on, I wanted to go through and see.
Hey guys, I did want to tell you, we're a new podcast. So if you could help us out, just give us a like, a subscribe. That would be fantastic. And we'll keep bringing this funny and sometimes serious conversation.
Yeah, you know,
Here
again,
and
we never say it. But yeah, we would absolutely appreciate it. People like, subscribe, you know what I mean, share. You know, we're gonna start branching out a little bit. We're gonna make some swag and start doing, like, maybe some little giveaways. You know what I mean, just to try to engage with people.
Should be
show
fun.
our appreciation.
The giveaway should be fun.
We get some traction throughout the month, throughout all of our platforms, and we do appreciate that. We appreciate anybody that listens and engages with us.
We just launched on Spotify.
Yeah.
Just launched on Apple Podcasts.
You know, this is our second year, so we just we're kind of kicking off our second season.
Second season.
So, you know, yeah, if you guys feel inclined to do so, please like, share, subscribe. Check out our other platforms. You know, engage with us, comment. We always hit back.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to agree with us. It's not why we do it.
No, we do it for fun. And
we're not here to, you know, go
bring
back
attention
and
to
forth
stuff.
and or, you know, yeah. That's it, dude. We just talk about things that, like Noah and I today. We saw each other at the kiddos' schools, and we're like, dude, like, let's just come and talk a little bit about what's going on, right now, like the stock market, politics, I was talking about Canada. Let me go in on Canada.
Oh, yeah,
Let me
yeah,
not
yeah.
forget about Canada.
Let's get Canada.
Look,
Let's get Canada.
I got some Canadian friends.
Sure, so do I.
Everybody loves Canada, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves maple syrup, stuff like that. But dude, this whole political thing and the tariffs, and their politicians, I just don't agree with what's been going on, what they've been doing to the Canadian people.
Yeah.
It's so expensive to live there. They're like, their health care is non-existent, but yet people here still say we should be like Canada. Maybe we should in some ways.
No.
Maybe. But I mean, they're friendly.
I know 2 people specifically that came to the United States because they could not get the treatment they needed.
Right. Oh, and look,
in Canada.
I just watched a young lady on social media the other day. I had to go back and look to see if she was telling the truth. I did. I found the article.
Yeah.
She's waiting to see, like, she was getting scans to see if she had a brain tumor.
Yeah.
Bro, it's 1.5 years from the time she can get the scans.
What?
So she goes in, they're like, oh, we think you have a tumor. They schedule her for scans. Her scans aren't until January of 2026.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? That's a brain tumor.
Yeah.
You make that happen.
Yeah, yeah.
But the system's broken. Their dictator stepped down. Trudeau, I mean, this guy should have never been running that country.
Right.
His father wasn't a great leader, but they controlled this through this, like, I don't know, like this dictatorship. And then they'll come out and say, oh, Trump's a threat to democracy. Now who do they have? Look up Canada's prime minister now. Who is that guy? I don't even think he's duly elected. I think the government put him in power. No one elected this man.
Yeah.
Now he's up there talking about, we're no longer military allies, and Canada's going to do what Canada has to do. Mark Carney. Yeah. What's Mark Carney's connection to Jeffrey Epstein?
Get out of here.
Just curious. Let's see.
No way.
Oh, my God.
It shows right up in the search.
Right up there. Let's go there, bro.
Not a
Look at
surprise.
them. Surprise, surprise.
Hanging out.
Because look, the other day I'm watching him. He's doing a press conference. Yeah, have you seen that video? Hit that one.
This guy
They're
right
like,
here?
hey, how many kids you
This YouTube?
Yeah, hit that one. But look,
How many kids did you molest with Jeffrey Epstein?
he looks back like, you let him in, did you? Look, these guys, these are garbage human beings. It's a vicious cycle, and they continue to stay in power. So you got rid of one douchebag,
Yeah.
and then this guy comes in,
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney was heckled over his ties to child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Listen, we don't have the Epstein list. We got some sort of release for the JFK files that was basically a zero burger or very little information. We got rumors that NBC News has got video footage of a different angle that they're hanging on to. Rumor. I have no idea if that's true or not. But we're supposed to be getting all this disclosure. It ain't coming. Where is it?
It's not. So this has been it's always been this way. Maybe we'll get a little bit more. I think Trump.
Are we going to get the list?
I think they want to be transparent, but I think it's so bad that that they just the people the powers that will things to happen.
Yeah,
they're way bigger than Trump. We've always said, who is the president? Like, I already find it surprising that Trump has done what he's done.
Yeah.
They're going in there, but they're going after small time players like Nancy Pelosi, like Schiff, like, you know what I mean? Like these, they're going to go after the senators that are amassed these huge net worths while supposedly working on a government's,
couple $100,000 a year salary. Yeah.
This is like, but what's going to really happen? You're not going after the real people. I hate to harp on it, but like, there's just like Mossad's connected to this. Like, there's a lot of Jewish influence, and dude, Jewish influence runs the world, like it or not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They control a lot of what's going on, and I think that this was their plan all along. Like, they used Jeffrey Epstein. He's a Mossad, spy or whatever you want to call him. But he's one of them.
Yeah.
And that's what he was.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell's father is a known Mossad agent. It's all written out there. Are you going to get those files? Probably not, bro. Because that's not Trump can't do that.
No.
You know, and even like being director of the FBI, Kash Patel, he's smart enough to know if he releases that list or tries to, or if they know he's gonna, they're gonna whack that guy, bro.
Yeah.
And they'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, they will do stuff like that. So, but going back to Canada, you know, they've been booing our national anthem. They want to, you know, dude, like why?
Yeah.
We're not doing it.
Right.
This is your politicians. They had tariffs on us, huge tariffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like either drop them and let's just do business. Even like they would hold forestry. Like
Maybe we should just try. Let's just try it.
Like, you know, let's not cut down any trees and then buy all the trees from Canada.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Because all the trees are in Canada?
Really?
No.
Like it's
we cut trees down here all the time.
We have mass forest fires burning down whole cities.
We
like,
log
we
all
could
the
have
time
logged all of that.
I know. We could have logged much.
Oh,
much
let's
more.
protect the trees. Like, no, dude, let's cut them down, let them grow.
Yeah.
They'll grow back.
Spread them out.
Don't cut down the huge redwoods. I get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like this goes deeper. It's just like, but I'm watching this unfold. I'm watching these prime ministers get on there and talk about how we're no longer allies to the United States, and Trump this, Trump that. Look, dude, you guys have been playing fast and loose.
Yeah.
With our economy for a long time.
Right.
And getting what you want. This World Economic Forum, and that was the thing. Trudeau was all in on that.
Yeah.
I don't think he saw having to step down. There's no way he saw that. Like, who would have thought in a million years that 6 months prior, he was on top of the world. He was at the World Economic Forum with Klaus Schwab. I mean, they were rubbing him on the back. You are the man.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, it's like, sorry, bud, you got to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's all falling apart. Then Trump, nobody really thought he was going to get elected.
Right.
Come on, after all the indictments and charges and
they
everything.
tried.
Like, dude, what we're seeing, that's why I don't understand why people are like, why are you so against it? Everyone hates politicians and the control and the shady business. And then this happened. They're like, oh, that guy's a Nazi.
Yeah.
Really?
Elon. You're talking about Elon. Yeah.
You know, and Trump. They
and
consider
Trump, too.
Trump like a dictator. And I get that all the time. They're like, you do know he's not leaving office now. Hey, bro, he doesn't want to be here any more than you want him to be here.
He doesn't want to be there.
He's on the first thing smoking out the door.
Yeah.
All right. But what he's going to leave behind is a legacy that he didn't fail on the second time around.
Well, I think he's going to leave a little bit of an infrastructure of either policy or people, you know?
I hope so.
Just to help balance things out a little bit.
But I mean, look around. Look at Pelosi's districts. Look at Maxine what's her name? Waters? Dude, why is she still there?
I don't know.
How does this happen?
I don't
And
know.
look, it goes down to Republicans also. I'm not saying that they're any better. But for me right now, it's really easy to look at like Canada and this Democrat run government, which we've looked at before. We looked at their you know,
Yeah. I know. Yeah. We looked at their economy.
their economy. We looked at their economy before and saw that, like, you know, when Trudeau got in, it just, like, what is going on?
Yeah. Demonstrators rally in hands-off protests against Trump policies and Musk-led protests continue at Tesla's showrooms. I mean, of course, CNN's going to cover that. We knew that for sure.
This is what they push. I was telling somebody that again today, too. I'm like, look, life would be a lot better.
Yeah.
If you turned off the news. Like, watch a little bit. Yeah. Noah says I got to watch a
You
little
got
bit.
to watch CBS for
I got to
sure.
watch a little bit of it.
CBS. You got to see what they're pushing. What the
I mean, we
narrative
could
is.
get into our local politics, you know? Look at our local politics. Dude, have you seen what they're going to do? Like, they're securing funding downtown for that new stadium that's coming in.
Oh, they are?
To push women's sports.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no bigger money guzzler than that. Like, you're just going to, just throw it down the drain. I'm sorry, but that's the reality of the economics of that. You already have stadiums. You could incorporate women's sports into the beautiful stadiums you have.
Right.
There's enough. There's enough on the plate for
The facility's
everybody.
already there.
You have it. Now you're going to get funding,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to use state funding and government funding to build this big, and it showed like a
Some
female,
developer is going to make some money.
Yeah, it's called Cronky, and them. Yeah, they all got their hands in it, but they're going to get subsidized by the government.
Well, of course.
Government's going to chip in. The state's going to chip in. People are like, I'm watching the comments they're like, dude, you need to leave. Mike Johnson, go.
Did you see, have you been down Brighton Boulevard lately? Just south of I-70. That whole corridor right there?
Mm-hmm.
That was all one of those initiative projects where they give 0% interest to developers, and they build all of that stuff, and they built all the buildings, right? Probably 30 high rises on that Brighton corridor, right along the Platte River there. It's wild.
Wait, where?
Yeah, economic. What are those economic corridors they tried to create? Brighton Boulevard, right here. I'll show you. Pow pow.
Brighton Boulevard down by
Broadway and Brighton. Down here. Where are we at? Right.
Oh, down here.
Here, yeah. Rhino. Right
Oh yeah,
here,
what a
look at this.
and what are they doing?
Okay.
And then there's still homeless encampments doing bonfires in the buildings at night.
Yeah, well, nearby, for sure. Oh, so here's the Forney Museum. Okay, this is like it's got old trains and stuff and some really cool cars. It's actually a pretty cool spot.
Oh yeah, because
Denver
right
Coliseum.
around there's a bakery.
Well, here's the old Pepsi facility. Yeah. So this is where Pepsi's at, right? So they just sold this. This is going to a developer, and they moved all their stuff out by the airport, right? But all of these buildings right here, these are all brand new.
Yeah.
Brand new. This is an empty lot right now. I'm
But
sure
for
that's
what?
going to be a building. People.
Yeah, but
it was an economic corridor. So they got, the developers that built these buildings got basically 0% interest money to build these buildings that they have repayment schedules of 20 years or I don't know, whatever it is. Another one of those corridors is Morrison Road, right? That runs right along Federal there, Federal and Morrison Road. That's another economic corridor. They just allocated a whole bunch of money to that. I think that went through. But yeah, Brighton Boulevard is nuts. It is so full of brand new things. I mean, you got tower cranes right there.
oh yeah, dude, I know. We go down there. Like I said, there's some bakery that ended up getting a Michelin star. Bro, I just gave up on that. So I had always made jokes. I didn't realize that it was really the Michelin tires.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
It is so ridiculous.
Like it's worth the drive.
Yeah.
That holds no more weight for me anymore. You could have all the Michelin stars you want.
Yeah.
These Firestones are not going that way.
You're talking about this bakery right here? Reunion Bakery in Sourdough.
Reunion Bakery, bro.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
They got it figured out, bro.
They got it figured out.
You have their stuff?
No, I've never.
Oh my
I never
Lord,
tried.
dude. Get a croissant from there, bro.
Get a croissant?
Oh my God.
Right off Brighton Boulevard.
Yeah. Got a couple of those spots in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Reunion Bakery, dude.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Got a little jazzy little sushi spot right in there too. It's not a bad spot to go.
I mean, it's kind of a cool spot.
But it's still
lots of
like this
interesting
mixed
stuff down
parcel. All they did was like gentrify the area. You
yeah,
know?
but they did so it was an
But
economic.
yeah, they got paid to do it.
Yeah.
They didn't put their money into it.
No.
They took taxpayer money and
That's
made
right.
tons of money off of it.
That's right.
Politicians got kickbacks, developers got paid,
Yeah.
all off of taxpayer money.
Yeah.
And now we got to pay exorbitant prices to go and eat there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's $25, $30.
They win, we don't.
Yeah.
Because like it's nice, but I can't go there all the time and eat.
No.
It's a $5 croissant.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and there's all this stuff down here too, right? It's not just.
And a lot of it, some of it's good, but not all of it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a barbecue place
And
down
I-
there that's real tasty, but it's like, $30 a plate.
Yeah,
if
that's
you
what I
want to
mean.
get half a pound of sausage and brisket or whatever.
Yeah, it's just
It's expensive.
the prices down there are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they have to charge that because you know what the rent is?
I know. On the free building that was built.
Yeah, the free building they gave you to build something.
That's right.
And then we paid you to do it.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah.
Then they turn around and say,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, here we go. Oh, I can't imagine.
I know. I think they called it an economic corridor. Denver. Brighton Boulevard. Significant economic corridor. Yeah. Connecting downtown to I-70 has undergone a major redevelopment project that transformed it into a multi-modal thoroughfare with improved infrastructure, pedestrian environments, blah, 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 blah.
You know, I was talking to somebody, I'm like, well, I don't know. What's the long term? Like, what's the long game they're playing? They're building up right now. Homelessness and crime is just out of control in Denver, right?
Yeah.
Are they going to continue to build, get it all done, and then one day just come through and clean it all up and put them somewhere else? Like, say, okay, we're ready now.
Yeah, right.
We're ready. Just swoop them all up and put them where? In Aurora? you know, just dump them and say, look, you come back over here, we'll ship you to Wyoming.
Yeah.
You know, don't come back. You want to hang out in the area, that's fine.
Yeah.
But don't come back here. Don't come downtown. Once it's all bought up. Did you see that whole thing? Look up 16th Street Mall. I don't know if it's true. I thought it was, but what is this? Denver's getting millions from the feds to transform Colfax Federal Intersection. Global.
Part of Globeville to put a soccer field on top of it. That's that gigantic tunnel that Kiewit built. Not tunnel, but it's a bridge tunnel. Right, they're going to put stuff on top of it. Right on I-70. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's really cool. And it goes under that field?
Yeah, the freeway I-70 goes right underneath there. But this economic corridor, they got a lot of money. And this was in, I would say, 2011.
Well, yeah, our taxes reflected.
Ooh, I don't know, I clicked on some PDF. Let's see. Budget. It was a lot. And I looked it up because I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Final budget allocations for fiscal 2019.
2019, yeah. Oh, our fave.
Oh, what a great guy. Polis.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, again, look, dude, like I was saying, I'm not against women's sports. I love women's sports.
It's not a moneymaker.
It's not a moneymaker. Yeah. And they know that, right?
Yeah.
So what's the real thought?
What's the push?
Like, what's the push? Like, where's the money coming from?
Just get it out.
Because
hey, just get it out.
The other day, Angela Reese, the basketball player from LSU, she's talking about how she's gonna sit out to show them. And what's his name? Who was that football player?
Antonio Brown.
Was that him?
I mean, he's doing
the
this
running
new
back.
thing.
He's like always. He's everywhere, right?
Yeah,
he's hilarious, but he's
trying to be comical.
Well, he's pretty spot on about most of what he says.
Yeah,
too,
he is. I think Rogan just had him on.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I was like, you know what? I might have to watch him just to get a feel for who he is.
Yeah.
But he was like, really? That's what you're gonna do? he broke down the numbers. Was like, dude, last year was literally the best year that women's NBA had. You guys still lost like
a ridiculous
$50 million.
Right.
You're still $50 million in the hole. You want more money, and now you're threatening to sit out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're really great for the sport.
Right.
Yeah, you're a real ambassador for the sport. I was like, I love that. I love that because I'm a fan of Angela Reese. I mean, she's competitive. You know what I mean? She's always hard on Caitlin Clark, but I get it. You know what I mean? Everybody needs that competitive, right? You need your villain.
Right.
But I'm thinking like, oh yeah, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna sit out. You really show them, right?
Yeah.
You're one of the best players. You bring eyeballs to the sport. You're gonna sit out.
Yeah.
That really helps all your team and your cause. But when he brought the numbers, he was like,
too soon. It was too soon.
You guys literally hemorrhaged $54 million, and it was your best season yet.
Yeah.
The year before was like $150 million. You know, and you want more. So when I see them saying like, "Oh, we're gonna go build a big women's, sports stadium," look up Denver women's sports stadium. Announced its plan to build a purpose-built stadium.
Right here, this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that thing, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, that's no small feat. I mean, it's beautiful. I know they're going to host other events.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Where's that going to be?
But, I mean, look at the city in the background. And then what is this?
I mean, that's...
Like, what is that highway in the background? That's why I couldn't figure
out. That's got to be 25.
It's going to be the women's...
This got to be 25 right here. Oh, this is Elitch's. Is that Elitch's?
Let's see. Keep reading. It's going to tell you where it's going to be.
Learn more.
Purpose-built stadium, recreational district. The state-of-the-art 14,500 seat stadium will be built at Santa Fe Yards, Broadway and I-25 in the heart of Denver, Colorado.
Broadway and I-25.
Oh, yeah. Broadway and I-25.
So it's got to be on the west side of Broadway. I don't. We've got Google Maps hot today.
Let's do it, bro.
We're all
over
the maps.
What you know what I mean? Like really?
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna build?
I don't know.
That's the one?
That's the
I didn't realize women's soccer was kicking ass like that right now.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
You're out of control today. Okay.
Oh, is it by
Wait, hang on. Is this Broadway? Let me look real quick. That's Broadway, right? No, it's Colorado. Let me get over to Broadway. Boom, boom. Right here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is that this?
This is the Santa Fe.
So this is that right there is where they're gonna build it, huh?
Yeah, right there.
So that whole area right here.
Yeah, this whole they call it the Santa Fe whatever. Yeah.
So this.
That whole area, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what's across from it? Kind of pull back a little bit now. Oh, I know where. Yeah, never mind. All right.
The Gates
Broadway,
the Gates
Santa Fe.
factory, I think, is right.
I know exactly where it's at.
Is this Gates right here? I think that's the old Gates factory. Is that Tennessee?
Yeah, that Home Depot's there.
Yeah.
Boy, I bet that's a classy place.
I mean, when you kind of scroll out and look at the map, it's really interesting. I mean, you can see all the business industry stuff just follows the freeway.
Yeah.
See that?
It's crazy.
Everywhere.
How they do
Everywhere on
that.
the freeway. I know.
It's kind of strategic.
It's kind of fun
But yeah,
to look at the map.
I saw that and I thought, oh yeah, money well spent.
Yeah.
Like, really, guys? That's
How
that's
long
what
is
we're
that going to be
shooting
before
for?
they bankrupt it?
Like, that's what we're shooting for. It's going to be another
It's going to be under Denver's control and rule. Right?
First Bank Center. They'll be tearing it down in 10 years.
Yeah, why are they tearing the First Bank
They
Center
just said
down?
they never could get it, I don't know.
They just couldn't get the venue populated with enough artists or what?
Look, my thing, I think they're getting paid more to tear it down. Something's going on. There's...
Because why would you tear it down?
They just said
It's only like 10 years old, 12 years old?
It's older than that. It's actually pretty old. The First Bank Center's probably 20 years old, 17 years old.
Did First Bank just stop supporting it or what? 17 years old.
Yeah, there you
2006.
Yeah, that makes sense. It had just gotten built when I lived out here.
Yeah, but
when I
we
first
can
moved here.
We can only put a building up for 17 years? That doesn't seem right.
But my thing is, I think it was poor management. Like, who was the promoter? Like,
yeah,
I get it. It's probably kind of hard to get a venue like that filled when you're close to downtown Denver and you have these other venues. Why would concerts want to go there? They're not playing Red Rocks or Pepsi, but you still have like Fiddler's Green and you know what I mean?
Right.
There's other iconic venues that you like, you know what? I'd rather play a smaller iconic venue than First Bank Center. Yeah.
What was the last show you saw at Red Rocks?
At Red Rocks?
Yeah. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Man, what did we go to? Dude, I mean, we did 420 like 2 years ago. So Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg.
Oh, yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
We did Kids Bop with Evie.
Oh, that's cool.
Some friends. But we did something else after that, too.
Once you've been to Red Rocks and seen a show, like everything you see from then on out is compared to Red Rocks.
Well, look, Red Rocks it's really hard to beat Red Rocks, right? I mean,
almost impossible.
It's almost impossible. We saw Ed Sheeran, dude, last year at Invesco, or what is it, like Mile High? Or
Mile High. Yeah.
Dude, I was completely blown away by the acoustics in that stadium.
Yeah.
I was like,
they figured it out.
Bro. And then he's a one-man operation in this stage that's just rotating around. Dude, it was one of the best shows I'd ever seen. Yeah. I was like, that dude really, really impressed me.
We saw Morgan Wallen there.
I bet
that was an incredible show.
But yeah, Red Rocks, once you see them, I mean, I've seen a bunch of, I've seen a few shows there throughout the years.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard to beat. That's a tough one though, if you're like an old person or maybe like, a little an overweight person.
There's a lot of stairs.
Dude, like when you go in there, well, we brought my mom when she was living here with us.
Yeah.
We went to see Get the Lead Out, which is a Led Zeppelin tribute band.
Oh.
I highly advise anybody, encourage you, if you like Led Zeppelin in that era of music, Get the Lead Out. I mean, dude, close your eyes.
Can't tell
Led
the difference.
Zeppelin. I mean, they are serious. When I told other people I was going to see Get the Lead Out, they're like, dude, I've seen them 5 times.
Really?
They're that good.
That good.
And that Red Rock Stadium, I mean, we brought my mom. It's like, yeah, how epic is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we've seen that. I mean, I've seen a few shows there, Ziggy Marley and, Damian Marley, this whole thing, 311.
Oh, you saw 311 there?
Actually, yeah, Ziggy Marley and Damian Marley, they opened up for 311 when we went.
No doubt.
Oh, bro.
That's good.
So I think that was actually the first show I ever saw there. And I was all nervous.
Yeah.
We brought some joints. We're like, we're going to smoke. Like, are you sure?
I know.
And we're
the whole
standing
stadium
there,
is full.
and all of a sudden they're like, Ziggy Marley's about to come up and they start playing this, and all of a sudden, dude,
There's a haze.
this cloud just rises
I know.
to the point where we couldn't even see the stage. Like the lights are shining through and it's just illuminating the smoke, and you can't even, you hear them and the music's going, but there's no breeze going at the time, but the weather's beautiful, right? Like that's the other thing is like it can be August.
Yeah.
And you're in Red Rocks, no breeze, but you're not sweating.
No.
You know, this is not Louisiana, cuz.
No.
It's not Texas. But yeah, I never forget. I'm like, are you sure? And Vicky's like, fire that shit up. Man. You're like,
you're at Red Rocks.
Are we? Can we? It's not legal. This is before it was like, you know.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, dude, all of a sudden, like, the music starts playing. And then this whole crowd, the whole smoke, this cloud just rises up. You're like, oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Cops are around like, Jesus.
Nobody's doing
Nobody cares.
No.
But yeah, once you go there, I mean, you know, I always thought to myself, like, one day I'd like to catch a show. Was it Sydney, the Sydney Orchestra in Australia, that iconic amphitheater, opera house. But like, you know, people do.
Yeah.
Who else did I see there? I saw, I've seen a few, actually, now I'm thinking about it, I've seen a few, man. Blues Travelers. And
these are all Red Rock shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, dude, I thought I was going to see the Black Crowes.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of rock and roll band.
Yeah.
Turns out it was the Counting Crows. Really threw me off. But Rob Thomas opened for him from Matchbox 20.
Yeah.
That dude just crushed it.
Yeah.
I've always been a huge fan of his.
There's some great musicians.
But you know, it wasn't Matchbox 20. It was just Rob Thomas.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm talking like he got in the crowd. Vicky, like, he walked by, Vicky touched him, like hugged him and stuff. He came through, like, we were right pretty up close.
That's cool.
Her boss, Joel, had gotten us the tickets to go see him, our bio trust. But yeah, Joel was a big one about like concerts and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, we saw them. That was a good concert because I was like, damn, they came out. I was like, wait, this is the Counting Crows? Damn. But they were great. They were great.
I know.
They were great.
I've seen some decent shows there too. I mean, Sarah McLachlan, I saw there.
Oh, I bet that was
awesome.
Her freaking voice.
And then it's just echoing and the reverb on the rocks. That was really cool. We saw Nicole's seen Big Head Town and the Monsters there a few times. I'm trying to think of the last show I saw. There was a country singer. I can't think of his name right at the moment. And then we saw. Man, I'm having trouble with band names for some reason, but they were a band that built a record in their basement. They just spent 2 weeks down there smoking, and went with my neighbor Mike and his wife Penny, and Nicole and I went. It'll come to me. And
where are they from?
Yeah, I don't know. Indiana, probably. Somewhere shitty.
Yeah, they usually are.
Wisconsin.
The great ones are.
Illinois. You know. Like I watched that interview that Rogan had with Billy Corrigan from Smashing Pumpkins, and he's from Illinois. His dad was a drug dealer, which is wild. Like you don't know these stories.
When I was young, like I wasn't too like I don't know. Somebody introduced me to Smashing Pumpkins,
yeah,
and I don't know. I always had like a weird music for me. It's like I've never been drawn to like one genre of music.
Yeah,
it was like I just like good music, right? Something that hits you.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you feel some type of way.
Absolutely.
And the first time you ever hear it, the
Kings
world is a vampire. You're like, what the fuck?
What is this?
Set to dry. And you start listening to the lyrics. Spite of my rage, I'm still just... And it resonates with me even more now.
Absolutely.
Because, like, I'm pretty political, and all of a sudden it hits you like you didn't realize back then, but it just, that music was speaking to you.
Now, have you ever noticed this, too? Like, when you were a young man, the lyrics, you couldn't quite understand the lyrics. Right. And then you had a little alcohol, and they're like, oh, now I can understand the lyrics.
Yeah, and I always learned the lyrics. Like, I had something about memorizing vocals, like music, you know what I mean? My teachers used to really dislike that I couldn't remember everything about school.
Yeah.
But kids would ask me to sing songs and lyrics, and I could
have
sing
it all.
whole songs.
Yeah.
And we didn't have, like, tape, you know what I mean? It was, like, off the radio. I'd hear a song a few times. Even my mom would get upset. Like, you know, she's like, it's cool that you do that.
Yeah.
But damn, you should focus that energy towards something better, you know?
What's wrong with focusing on that?
But it was like an escape, right? Like,
Yeah.
I would learn these songs, and it's something that you could escape to, and you would learn the lyrics. And it's true, like, all of us, like, the
Can we get a song? Are you going to play us a song someday?
Oh, I could
Or
probably
sing a song someday?
It's so funny because we have friends, like, we go visit, and they love karaoke, my Asian friends, right? Like, they have some serious karaoke setups.
Wait. Go ahead.
And but I don't get down, only like once or twice. But it's funny because like they're like, "What do you want to sing?" And I'm like, "I can't think of a song." But then we take vacations together, and every song that plays, I sing it. They're like, "Bro." Every time we get down there, you're acting like you don't know any music, but yet we drive 8 hours and you know every song from every genre. And I was like, it's just, I don't know.
That's just what
I'll
it is.
remember that next time. You know what I mean?
That's interesting for your memory.
Yeah, it's a weird. Well, Evie's that way. Look at, so she just did the play. Dude, she knew her lines by like third rehearsal.
No problem.
It's so funny. Like even the teachers were like, dude, it's crazy because we're always like, all right. But she gets up there and she even the songs that she had to learn, like speaking like African and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like, are you sure? Like I'd ask her like third into it. I'm like, should we practice at home? She's like, I already got it. I'm like, yeah. And Vicky's like, are you sure? I'm like, actually she is. Because it's my hidden talent also.
Yeah, right.
You know, but maybe it comes in clutch for her. Like if she wants to do theater and continue to do plays and stuff like that, you need that.
Well, of course you do.
That's a very integral.
Sometimes it takes weeks to get that stuff.
But like she memorized. Mom. Yeah. Sorry.
What are you doing?
But sometimes like she can.
He's trying
memorize.
to be better.
I am.
Trust
dude.
me.
I'm trying not to say it. But yeah, dude. I thought like Rage Against the Machine. You know, like you start hearing this music and you're like, man, these guys sound so angry and destructive.
Yeah.
But then you listen to the lyrics, you're like, oh.
It's against the machine.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But like Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan. And then when first time I saw his picture, I thought like, well, that's not what I was expecting.
I know.
You know?
Yeah. You know about the Billy Corgan, Bill Burr?
Oh, how they look alike?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You know what's so funny? So they look alike. And then, who else? Yeah, dude, they're hilarious. And then Will Ferrell and the drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Have you ever heard?
No.
Chad. Look up Will Ferrell and.
But you gotta look at this.
Yeah, but dude, wait till you see Will Ferrell and that guy. You think these guys look alike?
Yeah.
They don't even look alike. Wait till you see Will Ferrell and Chad, whatever his name is.
Right. Will Ferrell and who? Chad what?
Chad Smith. There you go.
Oh, Jesus.
Have you never seen the parodies? Look at them sitting next to each other, dude.
What is this? What is this nonsense?
Have you never seen this?
No.
Oh my Lord, dude. And Will Ferrell goes and trolls him a lot. And so Chad Smith, one time at a concert, they were doing like this small intimate concert, and he got up and walked off because somebody was like, yeah, Will, play it again. You know, he just like threw his shit. He gets mad about it. Like when people like, but dude.
I mean, that's pretty likeness.
They look a lot alike.
Yeah, they do.
And so like, so what, I think this is the episode where Chad Smith was going to be there.
Yes.
And Will Ferrell comes out dressed like him and starts playing the drums. And it's like, what do you want to play? Like, it's a parody thing.
Oh, we got to see this little video here. Let's watch that.
We're going to have a little battle, a little drum battle.
Yeah.
Taking him down.
That was Red Hot Chili Peppers' Chad Smith last week at the MAP Fun Benefit, talking about Will Ferrell and their epic drum battle. Last night on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Will Ferrell and Chad Smith had their drum off, and Mr. Ferrell won. The two had been getting confused for years as lookalikes, and a few years back when Chad showed up to the Music Cares Person of the Year, the paparazzi kept yelling to him, Will, 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 to
Yeah, dude. God. And for people were really mistaking him for Will Smith.
Yeah.
And because, you know, he's not, to some people, they don't know who he is, right? You know,
not Will
Chili
Smith.
Peppers. You know what I mean? Like whatever. Yeah. Like they knew him back in the day, but he's just not as out there like Flea and the other guy. There's
Will Ferrell.
Flea and whatever the other guy name was from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
But yeah, they look alike.
Yeah,
they look alike.
Look at that.
These guys, bro. I mean, they could be. It's hilarious.
They could be twins.
Man. But dude, even the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you know, like that Under the Bridge. I remember being young. I didn't, you know, I listened to country music, especially where I grew up, dude. A lot of hip hop, rap. Yeah. You know, that was a real heavy influence where I grew up. Like people.
Not so much alternative rock.
But then, yeah, alternative rock was there. You know what I mean? Like, damn.
I mean, the music back then, and I guarantee our parents said the same damn thing, was so much better than it is right now.
Yeah, the 90s.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
You know.
Nirvana. Soundgarden.
Yeah.
Right?
Like the 90s
Alice in
had
Chains.
some really, really good music. The 80s had great music.
Ozzy Osbourne.
But I think the 90s is very underrated. Like
Van
Nirvana. You know, people could argue that, oh, Nirvana, they didn't really, a mosquito, jalapeno. But it doesn't matter.
No, it didn't
like
matter.
that guy was just singing and
Yeah.
he was like giving you his heart. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? What a loss, man.
I know.
What a loss for him. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, there was some great music. And there was just like, it was this whole, every genre. Like there were all these genres of music that were blooming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough to be there. And
We
be
were.
able to like experience that. That's why I was like, for me, even country music, I felt like country music was great, dude. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't just that old school country,
Yeah.
you know, racist shit. You know what I mean?
I know. How about the who does Dust on the Bottle? Might be
A little,
dust on the bottle. Who is that?
David Lee.
David Lee Murphy.
No, yeah. Every time I hear it, I have to listen to the
As an
whole
owner of
song.
Walton
You
Goggins,
gotta listen to the whole song.
About what's in. Oh yeah, dude, I listen to the whole song when it's on.
I mean, am I?
No, I don't. I'm not saying you have to do it now, but
Damn.
dude, that's one of my all-time flaves.
Bow now. Okay. All right. We don't want to
wait,
get
no.
we don't get in trouble for this on YouTube, but the my college roommate, Chuck Owen was his first name. Lemke. He brought the biggest speakers I've ever seen in my life. Like a country boy from Wisconsin, from Wausau. Not really a country boy, but you know, Wausau's kind of country in Wisconsin. And set him up. I think we probably blew a fuse once or twice.
Yeah.
Like just cranking this song as loud as possible. And I'm like, oh, I didn't need to bring the speakers.
Dude, that was a classic. Like
Yeah, this
that
was-
one
this
hit.
was
What
solid.
was the other one?
waiting on me and I wanna trade it right.
Come on.
Bro, there's another one
That's
that
great country.
plays. Oh man, I'll think of the name of it. There's a few of them. And then Tim McGraw came around in the 90s.
Yeah.
I remember going to a concert in Lafayette at the Cajun Dome. It was Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. They were on tour, but this is before
Yeah.
they weren't together, right?
Okay.
And at that concert, they kissed on stage, and dude, that whole place erupted. That's when they like
Was
came
that the
out
first? That was the first
about
thing?
their relationship, and then
Yeah.
after that, it comes out in the news, you know.
Yeah.
But we're all like, "What?" They kiss at the end of this song, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here they are, all these years later, still together. You know what I mean? This classic love story.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tim McGraw was in. I mean, dude. I mean, all the way around, we just had some really
It was
cool
great music. I mean, there's some really good country right now. Really good country.
There is, but we're losing sight of a lot of things. Like now, it's like, you know.
But like, what's in the alternative rock scene, or even the rock scene right now?
Yeah.
Anything?
There's not much.
Nothing.
You know, you have
Right?
a few. Like I like even like Red Stray Clays. You ever heard of them? They're like a country kind of bluesy thing.
Yeah.
Really, dude. I mean, just talented stuff. You know what I mean? There's and then Hoosier. You know what I him like Hoosier. I really like him.
Okay.
Actually, they're coming here. I think he's coming to Red Rocks or to Dick's Sporting Good Arena. I'd like to catch that one. Yeah, I really like all his albums.
Yeah.
Like all of his stuff.
Dude, Metallica.
Yeah, but Metallica was like late 80s. They were all through the 80s, but they were really heavy in the 90s.
They
They
were
had
heavy
that
in the 90s,
Injustice
too.
for All. It's
Yeah.
when Injustice for All came out.
Unforgiven. I still remember that.
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
You know, Pantera. Like some of that stuff was way heavier than I wanted
Yeah.
to get into.
Yeah.
Like I had some buddies that were into that. You know, like I don't know, dude.
My stepbrother, he would buy records and then record them on tape and then go sell the record in high school.
Oh wow.
Smart guy.
Yeah, well,
Right?
that was the business right there.
That
I used
was
to
the
do a little
business.
bit of that. I used to make recordings and stuff too.
Yeah.
Dub tapes.
Well, you
sell
want to hear
those.
something on the radio, you want to dub it, then you have the
Stuff
dual
paper.
cassette.
in the top of the cassette.
Yeah.
So that you can make it a recording cassette because
Yeah.
it had the two holes in the top. But if
Right.
it didn't go down,
Oh,
you could
yeah, I
record
forgot
on
about
it.
that trick.
You would plug those two things on the top of a cassette, and then you could like
You
dub
can
it.
record anything.
Could record anything on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, we were living through the
That
good
was-
time.
those
When
were the
CDs
days.
came out, you're like, oh my god! And then you had like a Walkman CD.
Yeah.
You could run around, I just skipping the whole time. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And then MP3s came out. And you're like, oh my god, dude, I got 300 songs on this thing.
Yeah.
You know.
I know.
Then here comes Apple
Yeah.
with the damn.
Now you don't need
was it
nothing.
an iPod?
Yeah. The iPod. Now you need nothing. Nothing.
Like, yeah,
Just this.
Now it comes out of the air, bro.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know. And just as crystal clear as like if you're at a show or
I still don't
at a
understand
studio
any of
recording.
it.
I mean, what are we doing? This
Like I still don't understand
this
any of it.
audio is incredible right
Like
now.
the other day we were like playing records. I bought Evie a record player for Christmas, you know, a couple records. She likes them or whatever. And I'm like, she's like, how did it make? I was like, they stamp these things. And then, you know, so we looked at a magnified picture of, and I was like, and all it is little grooves and then they drop. And then as it's hitting and it's doing it, it makes the sound.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, how? What sorcery is this? Can you imagine if you made that, dude? They'd be like, this is witchcraft. You die back in the day. Like, back in the medieval days, you're like, I made a record.
And they're like, no.
They do it, and they were like, off with his head, you know? This is witchery. This is witchcraft.
Get him out of here.
Like, what? Yeah, look at that thing.
I know.
And so they take it, they press it, but they you know, like, what?
What? And they figured out you can just
put this needle on the end.
Put this needle on the end.
Attaches, and it's a microphone.
It just reads it. Oh yeah, there it is. That's a record.
That's a record. I don't know if anyone's aware of how a record works, but I am still like, bullshit. Bullshit. That's not how that works. Like, if you showed me that, I'm like, oh, y'all gonna grow something? Is that a field?
Right.
Oh, yeah, y'all got some fucked up rows, bro. Sorry, Mom. Sorry.
Jeez,
bro. That's two. Yeah, you got some messed up rows, dude. Nothing's gonna grow there. But then you realize, like, no, that's where the needle bounces in and creates the sound.
Yeah.
You know?
I know.
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Like, who did that? Tesla had to do that.
All right, Gene.
My guy. We got to roll.
We got to roll.
Once
Listen,
again.
if you like this stuff, we're a new podcast. We would love your help. Like and subscribe. We're silly like this most of the time.
Yeah, man. Reach out, engage.
We'll say hi.
We'll say hi, dude. Yeah, look, man, if you guys have some ideas, we always want people, like, we would love people to engage with us and tell us what's on their minds, right? Like, what would you guys like to talk about? What's something that interests you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, look, going forward,
and tell us what kind of contests you want or what kind of, you know, we're going to have a giveaway. Let us know what you'd be interested in.
Yeah, man.
The Tesla bot is not on the market.
It's not on the market.
Sorry.
It's not on the table. It's on the table.
It is on the table.
But yeah, man, engage with us.
It's
We'd really
on
like
and
some
off the
feedback on, you know, on how we're doing,
Yeah.
right? And just to interact with people. You know, I think we sit here, you know, I'm in my glass house throwing stones, you know, I'm all right. I like somebody else to throw some stones with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's hear what everybody else has to say. Let's do that, you know? All right, guys.
And
We
Gene,
appreciate you.
Ripple out.
Later.
Bye, everybody.